Dreams. I had a lot of dreams about dragons ever since I'm on the dragon's path. Ever since 2005 when I met the dragon for the first time. There were a lot of dreams, countless of dreams that I had about the dragons. Whenever I could see the dragon inside of a dream, my entire night was just fixed. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to see the dragon inside of dreams. And it was just, of course, sometimes I could dream of dragons and sometimes I can remember them very well. But it was also a time sometimes when I could see dying dragons. But every time when a dragon comes inside of a dream and you remember that, that means something that you maybe want to write down in your book of dragon shadows, because it can be very important when you dream about dragons. And sometimes inside of dreams we can do stuff. We can do stuff that we normally cannot do inside of this reality as a human being, of course. Sometimes it's flying, sometimes it's like magic, sometimes it's like... And I want to speak about something that I met inside of a dream that actually was telling me something much more. And I wrote it down in my book of Dragon Shadows. And that was a very vivid dream of me doing like this, like pointing my hand somewhere, and it was... I was focusing on something, and it was moving. It was actually a dream about telekinesis. And I really thought in my dream that I wasn't dreaming at all, that I was doing this exact thing, for example, moving this tree or moving the sticks on the ground. If you focus enough, I was even sweating, like focusing myself on this branch or whatever was in my dream, and it was just moving whenever I wanted to move, and it was actually so realistic that I wrote it down in my book of Dragon Shadows. But what does it want to say? What was this dream about? Whenever I dream about dragons, I always write it down, but I also wrote this down because I felt it had a connection. And this is actually where I came to find out, telekinesis is a form of magic, but manipulation. It's a manipulation that dragons can do. Dragons have a lot of abilities as well as shape-shifting, but as well as using the form of telekinesis whenever they are one with magic and one with manipulation. But there is no way of like that they are like, how do you call it? Displaying power. That is not something that they are doing. They are not using this ability for their own pleasure, but out of pure necessity. Whenever they are using telekinesis, they are doing something like helping themselves or protecting themselves. But what does it want to say for us? I have to admit that after I had dreams like this, I was always trying to do this in real life. I was doing like, come on, move. But of course it doesn't move at all. Years ago, when I was in front of my altar, I had some candles lit. And whenever I was, in meditation, I could see my dragon statue, and in front of it was a candle. And this candle was moving all the time. But there was no wind inside of the room. There was nothing. No movement, nothing. So every time when there was a candle was moving, it seems that there was activity on my dragon altar. So I was wondering myself, and I was reminding myself of this dream that I had of manipulation, of telekinesis. I was doing like this very, very close to the candle. And I was focusing so darn hard that my head hurt, really. And after a while, the candle was very still, and after a while the candle was like flickering all the time. It was even becoming large and large and large, and I had no idea what was going on. What was actually going on? I was not stopping. I was continuing, just like give it all of energy inside of that candle. I came to learn that this is an ability of dragons, but not an ability of humans. Humans cannot do this, are not allowed to do this. But there are things, your connection with your dragons, your connection with your dragon gods, and your connection with the dragon realm, all of them. But of course, in this realm, it's not possible. But in their realm, it is very much possible. So this candle that I said was in between me and my dragon. My altar is in fact some kind of a portal that I artificially made. So I did a lot of effort inside of my dragon altar. Everything that stands on my dragon altar is, of course, with a meaning. And I made this altar of being an opening for the dragon realm. And so this candle that I put over there, I made candles for two reasons. Because it's the element of fire, but also to be a light inside of the darkness of the void, so that the dragon can see it. I put all of my energy inside of this candle. It's not meaningless. Inside of this candle, so that it can be lit up inside of the darkest realms, so that the dragon can still see where you are. That is also the reason why I make candles. It's not like, also of course, out of pure respect for my dragon. I made respect for the dragon, but it also has a purpose why you lit up candles on your dragon altar. And so it's also an ability of every dragon god, and that is also what I came to discover out of this, the abilities that we are doing, the abilities of the dragon gods, all of them, and the dragons themselves. It showed me that there is a piece of every single dragon god inside of us all. And the abilities that they could do is actually also living inside of us. Inside of the dragon realm, your telekinesis would have worked fine. But here, it's a different energy. It's a different dimension. It's different everything. It's another page on a book. But inside of the dragon realm, your telekinesis would have worked because, there's a draconic energy living within. So this is actually, this would have worked. But also, in my book of Dragon Shadows, I wrote that this was actually showing me that there is a piece of us all inside, the piece of them all inside of us. For example, Fafnir's fire. Everyone is saying that this is a fire-breathing dragon. Well, actually, no. The fire of Fafnir is a dragon spirit, and a dragon spirit also lives within us. And so the fire that I'm trying to use is actually a connection between me and the other side. The fire of the dragon that I actually lit up. That is what I was actually doing. I was trying to do telekinesis by moving the candle, but as well as putting energy inside of this candle. And this candle is then draconic energy, dragon's fire that I'm trying to use. As well as, for example, inside of us, the blood that we have, everything of water inside of us is dragon's blood. And dragon's blood, that is Leviathan that lives within us, as well as Tiamat and Pangu. And the air that lives inside of our lungs, the true breath of the dragon, is actually the breath of Q or Quetzalcoatl, Tialong or Shenlong, that they are inside of the air. And all of them combined inside of us. Whenever you are awakened by your dragon, you can feel all of the dragon gods within. But there are one or maybe two dragon gods that are purely your guardian and responsible for your birth here. And they were there where you were born. So your birth is always witnessed by the dragon god by your side. And so, that I came to notice as well that this was actually Tiamat, was simply because of instincts, pure instincts. And also the abilities of what Tiamat can do is slightly different, for example, than what Leviathan or Quetzalcoatl could do. They all have their different abilities that they can do, but they are all workers of telekinesis. They can move objects simply because they want to. And that is also what I came to learn by moving this candle. This is actually very good to focus yourself on. Lit the candle on your table and try to experiment with it. And please, whenever you are doing experiments like this, do it all with great respect for the dragon. With all of the respect. So the experiments that you do like this shouldn't be empty. Never, nothing should be empty. Whatever you are doing in a dragon's name. In a dragon's name, everything should be very much filled with emotion and filled with desire, and it shouldn't be empty, whatever you are doing. So whenever you are trying to do experiments, keep in mind, do it sincere, do it with every emotion that you have. It doesn't matter what kind of an emotion, but do it not because you want to play with it. Because I don't I don't like it whenever people are trying to do something in the dragon's name and it's actually empty. It's meaningless. So whenever you are trying to do something for the dragon in the dragon's name, like experimenting with fire, like experimenting with a candle, please keep in mind that it should all be sincere. And sincerity, so from this on, you know that you are very much focused to reach for the dragon and to reach all of the abilities, whatever they can do, that is opening inside of you and living inside of you. That you all of this have to, not control, but experiment with, but as well as discover it. Discover all of these draconic abilities that are awakened inside of you. And with it, with feeling all of your abilities, you can as well feel the dragon gods living inside of everything that you can do, and as well as your dreams. Whenever you have vivid dreams, whenever your dreams want to show you something, then I recommend that you write everything down.